Protect the Divine Mother! Against the gods, I am nothing. My weapons are useless. True power lies within.
King Vishwamitra ruled with absolute power. His magnificent kingdom was a testament to his grandeur, but his ambition spanned far beyond these palace walls.
Welcome, King Vishwamitra, to this humble abode. Deep within the sacred drawing seekers from distant lands in search of truth. Here, the divine Kamadev radiates celestial light.
Behold the endless bounty of the divine.
This is a miracle beyond my comprehension. I demand you hand over Kamadhenu to me now. She is not a property to be given, King. She is not yours to take, O King. Seize the beast now! Protect the Divine Mother! Against the gods, I am nothing. My weapons are useless. True power lies within. King Vishwamitra renounced his vast empire. He sought the divine guidance of sage Vashishta. May you find the eternal peace you seek. Om Shamno Mitram Varuna. May Varuna be propitious to us. May we attain peace and ultimate truth. Dharma is the true light of a kingdom. Let wisdom guide your path. A divine era begins in Ayodhya. Rejoice, for a prince is born. Rama, true knowledge is the ultimate light. It dispels all darkness from the mind. Rama, Dharma is the true foundation. Wisdom is knowing the eternal self. In peace lies the ultimate truth. Consciousness is the only reality. The world is but a play of the mind. True strength lies in discipline, and true virtue in humility. Behold the eternal light of truth that guides the cosmos. In the silent beginning of the cosmos, vast clouds of stardust forged the first galaxies. From the sacred pot, divine light flows. Sage Agastya is born unto the world, and Vashishta arises. The sages honor Vashishta, born of pure light. Sustained by the sacred pot, and from Varuna, the vast cosmic order. The eternal truth of Sana's stars. We are merely the keepers of this cosmic light. His light was not of fire, but of pure reason, where weapons his wisdom stood unbound, shaping the minds of 1,000 generations, the timeless legacy of Vashishta.
Ancient Vedic India was a highly volatile landscape. Society was defined by intense tribal warfare, competing religious pantheons, and warlords vying for territorial control. This chaos created a societal vacuum. Local kings held absolute martial power over their expanding territories, but they lacked a cohesive moral framework or strategic compass to govern effectively in peacetime. According to early mythology, the gods recognized this void. Texts describe the Saptarishis, 7 great sages, who were brought forth to guide humanity. Among them was Vashishta, born miraculously from the combined power of the deities Mitra, Varuna, and a celestial nymph. But beneath that mythological origin story lies a grounded historical reality. Vashishta was a living scholar and the Purohita, the chief royal priest and advisor to the powerful Bharata tribe. Being a tribal strategist and a revered spiritual authority allowed him to bridge the gap between raw earthly ambition and divine order. He had the ear of the warlords and the respect of the priests. That strategic mind was tested during the historic battle of the 10 kings. Vashishta served as the key advisor to King Sudas, whose smaller Bharatha forces were suddenly cornered by a massive Puru-led tribal alliance. This topographical map of the Ravi River shows their strategy. Bharatha forces took the high ground, bottlenecking the massive Puru alliance against a natural earthen dike. By intentionally breaching that natural dike, they unleashed a catastrophic flood that entirely wiped out the advancing Puru forces. While Vashishta secured a brutal, decisive victory through his tactical advice and rallying poetics, the immense loss of life left a lasting mark. He would spend the rest of his days working to ensure such violence was tempered by strict ethics. Intimate knowledge of the horrors of tribal warfare became the catalyst for his true legacy. He realized society needed a permanent ideological framework for peace, rather than relying on endless military conquests. The ancient texts explore this pursuit of peace through a legendary, decades-long rivalry between Vashishta and another powerful figure, Vishwamitra. The stories contrast Vishwamitra's aggressive, worldly ambition with Vashishta's total spiritual stillness. The feud began when King Vishwamitra violently attempted to steal Vashishta's divine, wish-granting cow, Kamadhenu, seeking to claim her infinite material abundance for his own army. Enraged by Vashishta's resistance, Vishwamitra acquired devastating weapons from the god Shiva. He hurled them at his rival, attempting to incinerate the peaceful forest hermitage. Yet Vashishta did not retaliate with force. He neutralized every single weapon through his meditative resilience. Exhausted and baffled, Vishwamitra was forced to concede, ultimately reconciling with Vashishta and pursuing a spiritual path himself. This mythological conflict operates as a foundational parable in Hindu philosophy. It dictates that supreme power is never achieved by conquering external enemies, but by maintaining absolute internal mastery over one's own reactions. That philosophy transitions from folklore into historical record in the 7th book of the Rig Veda, a foundational Hindu text authored directly by Vashishta and his school. This visualization represents the era's religious schism. Society was deeply divided between followers of Indra, the fierce deity of war, and Varuna, the deity of peace. In verse 7.83.9, Vashishta explicitly rejects choosing sides, elevating both to a perfectly complementary, equal status. His logic was highly pragmatic. Defeating evil and securing borders through Indra's martial power is necessary, but those victories are meaningless without the socio-ethical laws of Varuna to sustain the peace. By demanding mutual coordination between rival religious factions, Vashishta drafted the first recorded blueprint for religious harmony in India. He proved that opposing ideologies can be synthesized to build a stable society. Vashishta's reputation eventually elevated him to the role of preceptor for the Ikshvaku dynasty. In the epic Ramayana, he serves as the personal guru and teacher to young Lord Rama. Instead of drilling the young prince in standard martial statecraft or troop movements, Vashishta's curriculum focused entirely on the mind. He taught that a king must first govern his own psychological state before he can rule a population justly. This ultimate guru-disciple relationship remains highly relevant in modern Hindu practice. Today, millions gather at events like the massive nighttime Arattupura Puram festival, where a deity of Rama is brought to pay obeisance to Vashishta. He shifted the entire criteria for leadership. The greatest kings were no longer defined by the size of their armies, but by their capacity to achieve inner psychological sovereignty. His most profound doctrines are preserved in a syncretic medieval text known as the Yoga Vasistha, structured as a dialogue between the sage and Prince Rama. This animation illustrates his radical rejection of fatalism, the widespread ancient belief that human lives were strictly predetermined by gods, stars, or external destiny. Vashishta argued the exact opposite. Active human effort, deep optimism, and truthfulness are the sole mechanisms that dictate a person's trajectory. By shifting the focus of religion away from outward rituals and sacrifices toward inward self-betterment, his ideas laid the groundwork for future generations. It is exactly why Adi Shankara named him the first sage of the Vedanta school. Reverence for those teachings physically endures across India today, visible in the ornate wooden carvings of the ancient Vashishta temple in Himachal Pradesh. Vashishta remains known as the most excellent of sages because he handed humanity the ultimate tool for liberation. He left us with the enduring knowledge that we are active architects of our own harmony. It is a universal anxiety, the nagging feeling that our lives are ultimately at the mercy of luck, unseen pressures, or a predetermined destiny shaped by random forces we can never control. Enter Vashishta. He is one of the Saptarishis, the 7 great sages of ancient India, and the first sage of the Vedanta school of philosophy. In traditional art, he is instantly recognizable, hair tied in a neat bun coiled to the right, a striking handlebar mustache, and a prominent tilak marking his forehead. According to the earliest texts, his origins were entirely supernatural. He was originally a mind-born son, conjured directly by the creator god Brahma. Later legends describe a second birth, where he materialized from a sacrificial pitcher after the gods Mitra and Varuna caught sight of a celestial nymph. He was even the keeper of Kamadhenu, a divine cow said to materialize any physical object or luxury her owner could imagine. Vashishta lived in a world where every advantage was seemingly handed to him by the gods. Yet his central argument remained the same. These divine gifts are secondary to human resolve. He became history's fiercest champion of personal agency and self-reliance. We are going to look at how he used that philosophy to reconcile kings, gods, and the nature of the self. Beneath the mythology lies a historical figure. Vashishta was a poet and priest who authored the 7th book of the ancient Rigveda. He moved across the Sarasvati River to establish his school in a rugged, isolated setting, grounding his teachings in the landscape of the early Vedic world. His philosophy, codified in the Vashishta Dharma Sutra, bypasses abstract mysticism for practical conduct. He taught that righteousness is found in truth-telling and looking toward the distant, the long-term moral consequence, rather than the material commerce right in front of us. He lived these principles at home. His marriage to his wife, Arundhati, was built on such deep mutual respect that it remains the cultural blueprint for domestic stability in Hindu tradition. He rejected the idea of the isolated ascetic. To follow his path, a person had to share their prosperity with society, viewing communal growth as a requirement for spiritual progress. For Vashishta, divinity was not a gift from the gods, but a status earned through the disciplined, daily effort of righteous living. This emphasis on resilience over raw power defined his rivalry with King Vishvamitra. When the king unleashed an arsenal of destructive weapons, Vashishta neutralized the attack through spiritual discipline and internal focus, proving that a calm mind could withstand physical force. He applied this logic of balance directly to theology. In his hymns, he took 2 rival Vedic deities, Indra, the conqueror, and Varuna, the upholder of law, and presented them as equally necessary gears working together to maintain social order. This pragmatism extended to the battlefield. During the historical Battle of the 10 Kings, Vashishta served as the strategist for King Sudas. Facing a massive alliance of enemies, he secured victory by engineering the breach of a river dike, a move that drowned the opposing forces. In the Vedic texts, this triumph is credited to Vashishta's intelligence and his ability to secure divine favor through precise poetics rather than raw miracles. This success on the battlefield served as a proof of concept for his wider philosophy, that human intellect and the pursuit of harmony could alter the course of history. These ideas culminated in the Yoga Vashishta, a text structured as a dialogue between the sage and a young Prince Rama. When the prince falls into a deep existential depression, Vashishta treats his disillusionment not with prayers, but with a rigorous lecture on human agency. He argued that fate is an illusion, a bogeyman for those who lack resolve. He insisted that human creative power is the only force capable of overcoming suffering. This focus on the mind's power to reshape reality became a primary pillar for the Vedanta school. From his ancient winter abodes along the Ganges to modern temples, his teachings left a lasting footprint on the spiritual landscape of India. By placing Dharma over destiny, he provided a framework where we have the power to better our condition through our own choices and will. The blueprint Vashishta left behind suggests we are not victims of luck or divine whim, but the active architects of our own fate.
This Indian has shared my story. To support him, please subscribe. Continue watching these videos. May my blessings be with you always.